welcome you to Homo Politicos on Enterprise TV. Kingsley Bass is my name. So let's talk something that affects you as a Nigerian, and indeed not just your viewing pleasure but your pocket as well. Let's get down to the conversation today as we talk multi-choices adjustment in subscription. So as Nigerians continue to grapple with economic challenges, including inflation and currency depreciation, multi-choice Nigeria, that's the mother body of, if you like, DSTV and GoTV. Well, the multi-choice Nigeria has announced yet another price increase for its DSTV and GoTV packages effective March 1, 2025. That's Saturday, March 1, 2025. And this decision has sparked public criticism, given that the company had already adjusted prices less than 1 year ago. Multi-choice, on their part, say that the hike is necessary to maintain the quality of its service, citing rising operational costs. But Nigerians, many Nigerians, believe the move is not fair, particularly given the company's resistance to a pay-as-you-watch model as its recent legal battles over subscription fees. Yeah, if you're Nigerian, you know that has been a conversation for some time now. Now, with declining subscriber numbers and growing competition from streaming platforms, is this price adjustment a necessary business decision? Or is this another financial strain on Nigerian households who, of course, love the viewing pleasure they get from this particular platform, and indeed want to continue to enjoy this? I'm joined today by a public affairs analyst, Innocent Aduluba, as we break things down. Many thanks for joining me, Innocent.
Thank you, Bassi.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Kingsley Bass is my name. Let's get down to the conversation. Just before we get to the thicker things, Innocent, let's have a look, just a brief look at the history of this price adjustment by multi-choice. Of course, they're in business, right? They're in business to make profit, right? And so the very first, you can trace back, the very first increase in their tariff, you can trace back to September 2009, and that coincided with the introduction of a low-cost bouquet DSTV access at 1,500 Naira, 2009, and then there was an increase in the prices of DSTV compact and premium, and now in 2011, that's 2011, prices were adjusted again. DSTV Premium at that time went from 9,500 Naira to 10,300 Naira, as well as other bouquets, except for access, which was left unchanged at 1,500 Naira. Fast forward to 2012, that saw a 10% increase in all its bouquets. DSTV Premium at the time was increased from 10,000 Naira to 11,000 Naira. So 1,000 Naira, Nigerians will feel like, okay, I feel better on. Yeah, let's just start with 1,000 Naira, from 10,000 Naira to 11,000 Naira. Meanwhile, access was left unchanged at 1,500 Naira. Now, the increase was attributed to the rise in inflation and operational cost. That was in 2012. Fast forward to 2015, and 2015 is a very significant year for Nigerians. Well, that particular year witnessed a 20% increase in all bouquets. Now, DSTV went from 11,650 Naira to 13,980 Naira. And then DSTV Access subscribers now had to pay 1,800 Naira. That's against the previous rate of 1,500 Naira. Now, a careful look at the increase shows DSTV Premium has increased by 55% in what? More than 7 years, say 8 years, from 9,000 Naira in 2009 to 13,000 Naira, 13,980 Naira, say approximately 14,000 Naira in 2017. So from 2009 to 2017, about 55% increase, right? Now, the current increase. Okay, now this before we get to 2025, there was another one in 2017, and that increase in 2017, people had said at the time, may lead to customers switching to cheaper, packages or competitors. Well, it's 2025 now. There are further talks about people switching to other forms. So let's get down to it. Maybe before I turn to my guest this morning, it's important that we look at the current subscription in 2025. The current subscription in 2025, again, MultiChoice has said for DSTV and GoTV, the price adjustment begins Saturday, March 1, 2025. Now, for premium, if you subscribe for premium from Saturday, March 1, 2025, you'd have to part with 44,500 Naira. For Compact Plus, some 30,000 Naira. For Compact, you have to part with 19,000 Naira. For Confirm, 11,000 Naira. Yanga is 6,000 Naira, and then Padi is 4,400 Naira. That's for DSTV. Now, for GoTV, the Super Plus, right? I think that's what it is called. The highest package for GoTV. The new subscription is somewhat 16,000 Naira for Super Plus. Then you come down to the next, which is Super. You have to part with 11,400 Naira. For Max, 8,500 Naira. For Jolly, which used to be a famous package among the middle class, you can part with 5,800 Naira. Maybe that is still a price that the middle class can afford in Nigeria. Well, time will tell. For Ginger, you have to part. I'm not talking the thing you can swallow, but there's a package called Ginger for GoTV subscribers. You would know that 3,900 Naira is what you part with, and then for Smalley, you part with 1,900 Naira. That's the new package, the new subscription. And so let me turn to my guest now, who would help make sense of this price adjustment, this rate adjustment for MultiChoice subscribers. Well, the conventional thing to say would be, what do you make of this? But I will turn from that and put this question to you. Do you think for the business venture, who's of course in business to make profit, do you think this is fair enough, or this is some more burden on Nigerian households?
Oh, thank you, Kingsley. MultiChoice is doing Nigerians a big favor, but Nigerians are paying, so it's not a free favor. What do I mean? MultiChoice is an export company from our own continental neighbor, South Africa, which means it's something Nigerians should also be able to do for themselves if we were self-sustaining.
We tried once.
Well, you don't. If you try, you don't succeed. You try again.
Yes.
So, and since 1993, 95, when the company started with about 30 employees, it has grown to over 5,000 employees and indirectly supports, if we go down the chain, over like 200,000 or more businesses in Nigeria. So it's an employment creation in Nigeria. When I say they do us a favor, I don't mean they are doing it pro bono or free, but they are filling a gap, as it were. And it offers entertainment as well. MultiChoice in the double DSTV, GoTV, which you've mentioned. Lots of content are indigenous here, Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, and we get some from neighboring African countries, including contributing value in the economic space through dealers, retailers, installers, Sabimen, and all of that, and it has stimulated decoder manufacturing, as it were. But all credit to MultiChoice. Now, that's one side of a coin. On the other side, it's split down the middle. Perhaps Nigeria, the system we run, is helping MultiChoice increase their prices. Because today you hear the government has floated the Naira. MultiChoice, like I say, is an export company from South Africa. So they may have payments, imports, and all of that in Forex. And so when we fluctuate, they fluctuate. If we stabilize, possibly they may stabilize. Now, on the general side, someone not educated to this level does not care about all my grammar. The person just wants to know that the amount they've been spending should stay where it is, because their own earnings has not increased proportional to the cost of these multi-choice packages. And I can say personally that there are times I'm watching TV, say 11:30, 12:30 a.m., and the message will be adjust your sets, and it will be counting down. If you don't, they will adjust it for you. And when that is done, a channel within your pay range disappears. I think the multi-choice people specializes in weeding. You have maybe 20 channels on this bouquet. When they are done selectively, you are down to maybe 16. And sometimes, like I have kids, lots of their cartoon channels are taken out, or sports are taken out, you know. Previously, when they began, I started using it like maybe 2000. They were here in 93 and 95. I started in the 2000s. Late 2000, mid 2000. At the time when you run out of subscription, Kingsley, you will have the local channels. Yes, you will have your Nigerian channels, AIT, NTA. I
suppose you have just one now when that happens.
No, you have none.
Yeah, well, if I remember,
it depends on your booking.
From my yes,
it depends on your booking. So
okay, for my subscription now, you have one you can still view. That's the Nigerian Television Authority.
You
have that viewing.
The one we now have.
Yes.
My kids memorize very well. Is that intro channel that summarizes all the other. That's the only thing. So and I'm wondering, like, somebody who has an aerial, this antenna outside, can watch a Nigerian channel, terrestrial. Thank you for the word. So how come these our South African brothers are this strict business speaking? So so the question is it fair? I think I've landed where you wanted me to land. It is fair.
For who?
For multi-choice. It now may not be fair to consumers. Just like every other commodity, one egg is 250 naira now. Again, South African export telecommunications company MTN has lately done their increase, which seems to be in the wider telecom space. So that your purchasing power shrinks. The services is costing more. And Nigeria, like I said, lacking an indigenous alternative, are condemned to continue with this marriage, even though it's grudgingly, Kingsley.
And it's interesting that you mentioned that, because I remember in 2022 they were to have something similar, right? But the Senate said, oh no, you cannot do this. Nigerians are groaning in pain of the financial burdens they have to bear. And then there were, this back and forth. I remember that there was even they had to go to court at some point for this purpose. So what do you say about the Nigerian government, the regulatory body, in Nigeria, and the place of multi-choice really? Because you did reference the telecommunication sector, right? There's the Nigerian Communications Commission. There's been no price adjustments for a while. Yeah, so they had to wait and wait and wait for more than 1 decade, clamoring for the price adjustment. But the space in which multi-choice plays, there's really no, so to say, price control. The Nigerians have been clamoring to say that, oh well, maybe we should switch to this pay as you view format, right? That way, if I'm not home, right? If I subscribe and I travel, I'm not viewing these channels. My subscription waits for me the same way my prepaid meter for electricity, for power, waits for me for usage. What do you say about that? Is it time that the Nigerian government finds a way to, within the Nigerian space, this business operates within the Nigerian space, make sure that this is enforced for Nigerians?
Okay, I'm going to overlap the topic. DSTV, multi-choice, there was a debate. I watched myself during President Goodluck Jonathan's administration. A senator moved a motion for this pay-per-view. It was thrown to vote, and it was voice vote, and the ayes had it that pay-per-view should be killed. We should continue like this. I would think that those people who are representing me and you, who feel our pain, would have voted for pay-per-view. They voted against it. But again, there is a conundrum here. We carry out blind voting in the Nigerian Senate, such that whoever was representing your constituency at that time, you cannot identify or recognize where they voted for. In the absence of a digital voting system where names of voters and what side they took pops up. So in that situation, the Senate emboldened national multi-choice. Now, under the Senate presidency of Senator Farouk Lakwan, there was a pay TV hikes. There was a Senate ad hoc committee on pay TV hikes and demand for pay-per-view subscription model, like you said. It was headed by Senator Aliu Abdullahi, but again, the broadcast provider in their submission insisted that there is the need for price increase, like 2022 or thereabout, and that they cited lots of challenges in the communication industry, particularly lack of power, steady power supply, and insecurity rocking the country. So I have said, and then our brother, our Oga, Chief John Ugbe, the CEO of MultiChoice, has also said that the model, the pay-per-view will not augur well despite Nigeria's free market economy. So I don't know what the contract for the MultiChoice is in Nigeria, if it has an expiry date, if it's something renewable, but all of this, again, the voices of the masses in Nigeria are very, very loud, but it never gets to the top where it matters, and when it does, it's rarely. So I don't know if the contract of MultiChoice is something renewable, negotiable. So I think at that renewing point, where our government carries the pain of the masses, such clauses should be inserted, debated, discussed, if you get my point.
Yeah.
Because truth be told, blankly, MultiChoice are here in business. And the government does not control every aspect of business to a business firm. I think if they meet our registration requirements, they pay their taxes and operate within the ambit of our laws, then they have a right to determine how sharp their profits should be so that they can keep afloat in business.
Interesting. Well, this definitely would continue to spark debate among Nigerians, but as we continue the conversation, right, and join more further perspective on this particular conversation, it's interesting to talk about, or to be interesting to talk about another part to this, and for many Nigerians. By the way, I'd like you to join the conversation in the comment section and let me know what you think about this, how you feel about this price adjustment, and if you would continue to subscribe to this. Lots of Nigerians will say, oh, they will begin to switch to smart TV, whether it's for movies. Some will say, oh, they have other ways to consume or view sports, enjoy their favorite sports and activities than the rest. But then again, still, lots a lot of persons depend on multi-choice and the packages that they have for survival. We know that for viewing centers, we have lots and lots of viewing centers in Nigeria. What do you think this means for them economically? Because think about the typical viewing center. If you part with 44,000, that's the highest package, right, that you have for DSTV subscribers. For the viewing center, 44,000 naira, especially for the ones that they don't have such a big space. They collect to 200 naira these days for some persons. If you've been in that space, or you've spoken with guys who still use that, and you want to do the breakdown and see if this is profitable really for Nigerians, especially Nigerians doing business with these packages.
Thank you. The demand for paid television services continually fluctuates, and is very sensitive to the price a subscriber has to pay as it borders on affordability. Yeah. So, and in all of this, multi-choice and maybe other terrestrial television these days are now in competition with subscribers' disposable income, which they are free to earn now. But you see, there are now the entertainment side. If you go to social media, where even that football, somebody may choose to, at that time with his or her data, watch something on YouTube or Facebook or TikTok or all of them. So, and nowadays too, rather than subscribe for the bouquet of multi-choice, some people can use data from their phone or Wi-Fi to power a TV. But if you look at the gadgets in between deployed by multi-choice, it may carry a bit more efficiency to some of data. Sometimes data can be buffering. You are waiting for a penalty to be taken, your data is buffering. Maybe when you check online, there's a result. So, in all of this, the world is evolving.
Yeah.
It's evolving, and Nigeria should move along. Innovation is there, AI is there, data, digitals. I think the DSTV is aware of all, the multi-choice per se is aware of all of this. But my concern is the government of Nigeria.
I was just coming there,
yes,
really.
As regards self-sufficiency. You take it.
Yes,
there.
I was just coming there, really, in terms, as we close, the role government needs to play. I know you mentioned something about the Senate, in your previous comment. Let's speak decisively or specifically to this now. What role government has to play decisively now? So millions of Nigerians continue to say this is not favorable, right? This is not sustainable. There are constant price adjustments. You pay this for a few months, again you're paying another price. Yes, that seems to be the reality of things now, because even when you go to the market to buy a bag of tomatoes or a basket of tomatoes, you find that the prices change, right? But then for such a thing like this, Nigerians continue to clamor that it is not sustainable. What must government do now? Should government be decisive to push for a pay-as-you-go policy, or begin to regulate that market to say you cannot, adjust your prices for this period to so period, prepare the minds and the pockets of Nigerians, of consumers in general? Which one do you think is better?
Okay, of course, there's a lot the government can do. The government is the umpire in the business space, but the government cannot
run the free market too.
Yes, so that's on the one leg, but the government cannot determine the specifics of a business operationalism to decide what size of profit a venture makes. Like I said, where they have satisfactorily met your tax demands, due registrations, corporate affairs commission requirements.
And they are providing quality.
Yeah. So what I am afraid is, in everything Nigeria, everything, do we have local alternatives? This is a country with over 200 million people. Every clothes worn here are imported. where can we clothe ourselves?
Well, you can
The
say,
Adire option.
You can say many, but not.
I'm telling you every. The Adire option, how many is it, do you have one Adire?
Well,
You know.
I do.
Then hold on. Then our food today largely are imported, and we have vast land. We can feed other people.
That's what you should have said for clothing too. Largely, yes.
Okay, let's stay with you conservatively. And then I'm talking clothes, I'm talking food. Security, we are not. Well, that's one of the reasons cited by MultiChoice. So, what is it the government can do within Nigeria sufficiently for the people? Because the businesses coming in are exploiting these holes. And cry as we may, if we don't have a local alternative, even as we are talking now, if tomorrow the MultiChoice just packs their bag now and leave, of course nature abhors vacuum. But Kingsley, you can imagine how long before we feel. So I don't know, we should start looking inward. Too many things. We are a large importing nation. Automobile, even the fuel that we have in our soil, we import the refined ones. The alternative we have with Dangote, it's the French will tell you come see, come ça. You know, so I don't think we, a Nigerian manufacturer or service provider, is in South Africa and has the gusto of this MultiChoice to say or argue with their government with regards to how we get kicked here and there. So let our government help us find some credibility. It's beyond MultiChoice. There are people, their primary need is food. So this topic is secondary to them.
Oh well, as we wrap the conversation, there are several Nigerians who won't bother about this as long as they get quality service. You know, that and that category of people. Well, for many Nigerians, for majority of Nigerians, they will be frowning. As a matter of fact, if you go on social media, lot of frowns, lots of criticisms as regards this particular adjustment in subscription for MultiChoice subscribers. But we see how things go. Hopefully, government can step into this and in some way help Nigerians survive, literally, because we've referenced electricity, telecommunications, and the rest, and now this for those who use decoders. But yes, that's with that. Innocent, I'd like to thank you so much for being on the program today.
It's my pleasure, Kingsley.
Yes. We'll continue to follow these conversations, and hopefully, we can get resolutions. And one of the reasons for these conversations really is to help Nigerians have a better life, and we continue to hold government to account because it's government's duty. This is part of the welfare of Nigerians in some way, because if regulations are there, if the economy is doing well, no business really will be thinking about hiking the cost of services, right? But yeah, that's with that. Many thanks for being a part of Homo Politicals today. Keep watching Enterprise TV. Kingsley Bass is my name. Until next time, do not forget to hold government to account. In the comment section, let me know what you think about this price adjustment and what you'll be doing really. You one of those thinking about switching to alternatives? Have you switched already? Are you looking to continue with this? And you can pay for this adjustment. Let me know in the comment section. I'll be reading. Until next time, have a fun one and bye for now.